They told her she didn't belong there, questioned her qualifications right to her face, made the kind of backhanded remarks that are supposed to sound polite, but really just mean get lost. And you know what's funny? Not one of them realized who she was, at least. Not yet, because that's how these stories always start, right? The Marine sniper instructors at Camp Pendleton had seen cocky recruits come and go. They'd all had something to prove, but a woman claiming she could outshoot their best marksman? That was a punchline waiting to happen, or so they thought, and you could see it on their faces when she rolled up with her plain black rifle case. You could hear it in the whispers, the snickers, when she requested the advanced precision course. Like this was some kind of joke, like she'd disappear the second things got real. But Gunnery Sergeant Rodriguez, the guy who'd been everywhere and seen everything, he changed his tune the moment he got a look at her weapon, because right there, etched into the stock, were 247 tiny notches. And that's when you realize this is not the story anyone was expecting. See, what the instructors didn't know, what nobody in that room could have guessed, was that Alexander Phantom Chun had spent 15 years as the deadliest sniper in special operations history. And she wasn't there to win their approval or prove herself to a bunch of skeptics. She was there because there were things they didn't know, and she was ready to show them, whether they liked it or not. Camp Pendleton Sniper School is the kind of place that chews up the overconfident and spits them out. Fewer than 300 snipers graduate each year out of thousands who try, and every instructor's a legend in his own right, hardened by combat from the sandstorms of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan. When Alexandra walked into Gunnery Sergeant Rodriguez's office that Monday morning, all regulation uniform and unreadable eyes, Rodriguez glanced at her file. Nothing but standard infantry training. Above average scores, some support roles, nothing to hint she belonged here. So he leans back, casual. Staff Sergeant Chun, this program has a 93% failure rate. What makes you think you're qualified? He doesn't expect much, honestly. Alexander just says, steady as ever, sir, I believe my shooting skills are adequate for the program requirements. One of the other instructors laughs. Another warns her that sniper training isn't about playing soldier. It's days crawling through mud, 60 pounds of gear, decisions that can haunt you for years. She listens. She nods. She doesn't flinch. I'm prepared for those challenges, sir. Rodriguez sighs, tells her the standards won't drop for anyone, and if she can't cut it, she's out. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. But the real test wasn't behind a desk. It was the way the room went silent when she showed up at the armory in full gear. 12 candidates, 11 of them men with reputations and war stories. And here comes Alexandra, barely taller than the rifles they'd use. Corporal Davidson, all Texas swagger, says, looks like the Marine Corps is really committed to this diversity thing. Someone else, are you sure you're in the right place, Staff Sergeant? She ignores it, hands her paperwork to the armorer, who issues her a scope, a rangefinder, a ballistic calculator gear most Marines never touch. Then the real moment, the armorer says, I show you're authorized to use personal equipment for this course. That your rifle? She opens her case. The conversations stop. It's a custom M4A6, worth more than most Marines make in 6 months, battered, but cared for, the kind of tool that only a true professional uses. The room edges closer. Where'd you get that? Personal purchase, she says, not a trace of pride. You have any idea what that costs? It's adequate for the course, Corporal. But it's Thompson, one of the instructors, who gets the first real glimpse those tiny notches on the stock. What do those marks represent, Staff Sergeant? She answers quietly, confirmed kills, sir. Thompson goes pale as he counts them, 247, more than he'd heard of in a career. And for the first time, you can feel the whole mood shift. This isn't about proving she belongs. It's about realizing they might be the ones who don't measure up. From then on, everything's different, but nobody says anything out loud. Thompson decides to watch, to see what else she'll reveal, and that first live fire exercise, the instructors expect nerves, expect mistakes, but Alexander's form is perfect, her routine exact, like the rifle's just an extension of her. Her first shot, at 300 meters, is dead center. The next 4 carve a hole, so tight the instructors need magnification just to see them. At 500 meters, she's even better, shooting faster than anyone else. And with every round, you can feel the other candidates, even the instructors, realizing this is something different, something they've never seen. Rodriguez finally asks, "Where'd you learn to shoot like that?" Alexander just says, "Some advanced training, sir." Thompson covers for her, and you can see Rodriguez isn't sure whether to push further or just be grateful she's on their side. By the time the candidates reach the classroom for the ballistics test, the instructors are talking quietly. Her record doesn't show this, does it? No, but it's not the kind of thing you pick up in a support role. There's a twist here, a secret hiding in plain sight, because there are Marines with sanitized records operators who spend their lives in classified missions, whose true histories never show up in official files. And Thompson starts to wonder, is Alexander one of them? Maybe she's not here to learn. Maybe she's here to teach. The psychological evaluation, usually the place where even the toughest Marines crack hours spent discussing scenarios, collateral damage, the reality of killing people you can see through a scope, but Alexandra sits across from Dr. Patricia Hendress, calm, steady, answering questions about rules of engagement and target selection like she's reciting a shopping list. Dr. Hendress tries to press. How would you handle the psychological pressure? Alexander doesn't blink. Professional operators learn to compartmentalize the emotional aspect of the work while maintaining the moral framework necessary to make appropriate engagement decisions. Hendress's rattled this is someone speaking from experience, not theory. Finally, she asks, "How many confirmed kills?" 247, ma'am. Dr. Hendress has never seen anything like it. 30 was considered legendary. But this is history book stuff, and now everyone's got to figure out how to handle someone who's already done more than any of them. The instructors meet in private, debating what to do. Rodriguez read from the evaluation. That's not a student. That's the most experienced sniper any of us has ever encountered. Thompson finally lays it out. Her real record is classified, but he's got contacts in special operations. Alexandra has been running deep penetration sniper missions since 2008 for JSOC, the most elite units that technically don't even exist. So why is she here? She's transitioning out of Black Ops, needs official certification to keep serving as a Marine, wants to learn how to fit into the regular corps. Rodriguez makes the call. Instead of treating her like a student, she'll complete the requirements, but also help overhaul their training, sharing real-world knowledge no one else can teach. And that's exactly what happens. During long-range precision training, where everyone else follows checklists, Alexandra reads the environment, wind, heat shimmer, dust, making impossible shots seem routine. You don't calculate it, Corporal, you feel it. She teaches things you won't find in any manual, helps the instructors themselves level up. During the psychological prep phase, she talks openly about the reality of watching targets for hours, learning their habits, making the call, and the room goes silent. This isn't theory. This is what it's like when it's real. There's a moment where even the doubters flip. Davidson, the guy who mocked her on day one, asks, "How do you handle the weight of all that?" Alexander's answer is honest. You focus on the lives you're saving. Every target was a threat to Americans. The burden's manageable when you know the mission matters. Advanced tactics become a whole new lesson. Alexander teaches them how to operate alone, without support, how to move undetected, to be a true predator instead of just a marksman. A marksman hits targets. A sniper eliminates threats without being seen. Shooting's just part of it. By the end of week 2, even the instructors are learning more than they've taught. The final exam, shooting, tactics, theory, isn't just about passing. It's about making her official transition from the shadows to the open. Alexander blows every standard out of the water. At 1,000 meters, she puts rounds so close together the instructors are left shaking their heads. Rodriguez, normally stone-faced, is practically grinning when he tells her, "That's the most accurate long-range shooting I've ever seen. You're setting records here." After the exam, Rodriguez offers her an instructor position, tells her she's changed the program forever, but Alexandra, after 15 years alone in the dark, needs to know what it's like to serve in a regular unit, to be part of the Marines she's spent her whole life protecting. She's assigned to 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, Delta Company, where once again, the officers look at her file, see the notches on her rifle, and can't quite believe what they're seeing. 247 confirmed kills. Lieutenant Parker asks, barely able to process. Classified assignments, sir. And once again, skepticism turns to awe as she begins to transform another unit from the inside. Her new CO, Colonel Morrison, is sharp enough to see what's happening. He wants to make her a battalion-wide instructor, but Alexander insists, let me learn what it means to be a conventional Marine first. I need to understand before I teach. Over the months, it's the same pattern: initial doubt, then quiet astonishment, then a gradual shift as her presence lifts the entire battalion. She develops training programs, pushes standards higher, but most importantly, she finds a place where she isn't just a weapon, isn't just a rumor. She's part of a team for the first time in her career. And maybe that's the real twist, that after years of working alone in the dark, Alexander Phantom Chun finds belonging not by proving herself over and over, but by helping others reach new heights, by showing that sometimes the people you underestimate the most are the ones you should be following. In the end, it's not about the notches on a rifle or the classified missions nobody will ever hear about. It's about what happens when skill, humility, and quiet strength change an institution from within, and the question isn't whether Alexander belonged. It's why it took them so long to see it. So what do you think, honestly? Is greatness about the resume, or is it about what you give back to those around you? If you were in that armory on day one, would you have seen Alexandra for who she was, or would you have doubted too? Drop your thoughts below. Is the real mark of a leader their past, or the future they create for others? Let's hear where you stand on the line between assumptions, justice, and the hidden potential in every one of us.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình, là mình lên mạng xã hội tìm hiểu.
It is cold, yeah. Next one? Alright. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to.
Yeah, they're use the fence.